If you wanna be somebody, if you wanna go somewhere, you better wake up and pay attention. Hey, hey,
What's up, y'all? That's your boy, Mr. Black Magic, coming at y'all with another week's installment of Get Your Knowledge On. This week's topic is internal racism, and I guess, why does it occur, and, have we experienced it? Personally, I think we all have experienced internal racism within the African American community. And it's kind of funny, like, I always end up having a story to tell y'all about any of these topics. I've always had like some kind of personal story. And I distinctly remember, some years ago when I actually had roommates, that one of them actually told his mother, or had his mother believe, that I was raised with a silver spoon. And I kind of had to call him to task on it. I was like, what makes you think that I came up well-to-do with nothing? Like, I come from a single family household, just my mother and me. When we first moved out of New York City into New Jersey suburbs, it was a situation of where my mother basically worked to get her, college degree while, I was already here, obviously. And, basically when I had met this individual, he saw our house and like it was totally furnished, decked out, and this and that and the third. And that's where he got his idea that I was raised as such. Whereas given his experience, his mother had a full-on house that was mostly empty. And I had to challenge him. I was like, you are basically hating on me because, my mom basically did the right things. I mean, to a certain degree. I mean, of course she had me early, but she was married when she had me. And this whole idea of, hating on our own people because they succeed and achieve, it's horrible, and it really needs to stop. It's stumping our growth as a community. I think we as black people are very, I'm sorry, I can't even find my words today. Like we're very competitive. You see it in the sports world, and when you get black people to really try to engage and try to achieve or supersede each other, I think whereas in other communities where they really build upon the familial structure and build each other up, we tend to, while trying to climb up that ladder, be it corporate, be it social, anything, we're always ready to rip the person down. There's a picture. I'm into African American art. My mom used to sell it too. But there's a picture I remember. It's like a hand coming over like a wall, reaching for another black person's hand, and the caption or the title of the painting was "Lift as we climb." It's a shame because in our community we're always talking about what we need to do to uplift our community, this and that and the third, but we don't actually really embrace that idea of lifting as we climb. A lot of it has roots in slavery, definitely, to the point of where that whole idea of divide and conquer. And it's easier to shake, the foundation of a people when you can get them pitting against each other. It makes it a lot easier for the majority to sit there and keep the minority down. It occurs. It's wrong. I know, me personally, I try at any given point in time that if I can help my fellow brother, I do, or a fellow sister. But brethren, in terms of African American, I try my best to help them if I see that they are willing to help themselves. I think that goes hand in hand. What can we do to stop this from occurring? I think a lot of it has to do with educating our youth, the people that come up behind us, to understand that we are in this race together. We have to start really getting back towards, family, and not only family as in internal, because there's also within the black community, there's a lot of internal fighting within us, especially my family. But I think as a community, we have to help build people up. It's not an easy task because, you know, this is something that has gone on for years and years, but it's something that it has to be done. I actually, you know, on a former blog that I had, I wrote a, sorry, my computer's trying to restart. um, I actually wrote a piece for my blog. I think it was titled like New Alpha Beta. I think it was like Negro to African American to Black, and I kind of based it based on my experience being in the fraternity and how I say, you know, how black people, I consider us as black people, either you were made right or you weren't made right. So in terms of the African American community, you either basically pledge or not. You pledge by living or growing up in an urban society, having all the hardships. Your mom and dad was on drugs and this and that and the third, blah, blah, blah. And basically you were part of that fraternity. You were made. But, you know, as you, you know, transcend out of, you know, the ghetto mentality or the urban mentality and, you know, you become successful, it's almost like the people that are still in the hood don't consider you to have been in the struggle. All of a sudden you shed all of those characteristics. You're no longer, you know, down with the struggle. And, you know, that's one of the things that we as black people, we're going to have to shed that as a community in total in order for our whole culture or people to elevate and rise above a lot of the internal racism. Um, I mean, this is a pretty straightforward topic this week. I really don't have that much more to say on that. So I'm going to keep it real short. And again, let's try to uplift our community instead of, you know, knocking each other down. Let's lift as we climb. Holla at you.